Jessica Simpson was on Katie Couric recently, and she showed a picture of her little baby, a few months old, in a bikini, and a lot of people are getting really angry about it. They think this is sexualizing the baby.
We have a new picture of her, so let's take a look at that, and it's her in a little bikini. she's already very stylish,
and she's
right?
posing. That was her very first time to put on a bikini.
And it's not.
Well, now that's caused some controversy.
There's this guy from this group, it's a British child welfare charity group, who's responded to this by saying the following: "It is hoped that parents will understand that baby bikinis are totally inappropriate and that they contribute to the sexualization and commercialization of childhood. We should not be compromising the sanctity of our children's early years."
Yeah, so debate. Jessica Simpson, guilty or not guilty for having her baby pose in a bikini? Hermela?
I'm going to go with not guilty. I do think that in general we are all kind of an oversharing culture. A lot of people put pictures of their babies and children up on Facebook, and it's become very, and Twitter, and it's become very acceptable. But a baby in a bikini doesn't bother me, and if it bothers you, you should really reassess yourself. How are you looking at this baby in a bikini that is in a wrong way?
I hear you on that. J.R. Jackson, baby in a bikini, guilty or not guilty?
Little baby, no, that young from what they showed from Jessica Simpson, but there's an age, right? When they're a little girl, that's when it's a problem to me, you know?
That's a really interesting point. I agree with Justice Jackson.
I don't agree.
Oh, really?
I don't agree, no. I think that we are all very uncomfortable with skin, and even if it is a 10-year-old or maybe it's a 7-year-old that doesn't even have anything going on yet, we're all so uncomfortable with it. But how about adults? Adults have a lot more to show, and yet we're not uncomfortable with that. And I think that in a culture where there's a lot of pedophilia and we're having a lot of the Sandusky stories come out, I understand where people are coming from, but we have to work to move past that. It's okay if a kid is in a bikini.
All right, so here's the thing.
I'm sorry.
Look, the baby in a bikini is totally fine. I mean, she's just dressing her up like a doll, basically.
Right.
I agree with Hermela. If that even arouses anything in you, there's something massively wrong with you. And look, the baby could be topless. It's a baby.
Yeah,
it doesn't
it's a baby.
matter.
There's nothing
right?
on the baby.
But I agree with JR that there is actually a certain age where then it gets uncomfortable.
When you're putting your kid out there, I think you don't know which guys are pedophiles and which women are pedophiles and all that. But that's why you be careful then. But there's an ad from this. It's a big lib organization for recycling and reusing our water and new forms of energy, I think, is their main thing. And they have this little girl playing. There's several ads, and every time I see it, I'm like, I don't like the look of this ad. There's a couple of them, we'll see.
Waves are really powerful. They're clean, renewable, and really fun. The possibilities are endless. There are people and companies working to make wind power available to everyone. All we have to do is get behind them. Can one solution to energy woes be blowing in the wind?
That stage I'm talking about.
No, you lost me on that one, JR.
I gotta say, there's nothing about that seems inappropriate. I will say, the shots, the back shots, and the angles that they choose are a little questionable. But that little girl she might as well be a baby. There's really no womanly feature about her.
You know, we have done stories like this in the past. There's the girls. I remember the one girl who was 12 or 13 or something, and she was posing in a very adult pose. She had makeup on.
That's different.
She was in a sexy pose. That crosses the line. I think I know what you're saying. You've seen the 100 sexy women shots on the beach and stuff, but I don't think they were going for that here, and I didn't get that sense.
Exactly. I don't think they were trying to do that. That's what I'm saying. They're doing something else, but when you put your kid in a bikini, like we were talking about ages 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, on the beach, you don't know who the pedophiles are, but you don't mean to advertise your kid around like that to nasty people, so you don't mean to, but you're doing it. That's why you want to kind of be careful. This ad isn't trying to do that, but it's doing that to the weird people. So just don't do it.
The overall ruling is when they're this when they're really young, you can dress them about in bikinis, whatever. So you can dress your baby in whatever the hell you like. They're babies, okay? We change their diapers. There's nothing, right? But I do agree with JR that there comes a certain age that if you put them in adult roles or adult clothes and you put them in provocative poses, that crosses a line. And then when you get to be an adult, it's fine again, right? But there is that period in the middle where you should be a little bit more careful.
Sure, I just don't think that in either one of these incidents, like, they've done that. And the other thing, to JR's point, is you really can't adjust your sensibilities to pedophiles. Pedophiles probably don't care if the little girl has a bikini on or if she's fully clothed. If they're interested in the little girl for whatever reason, they're probably still going to be interested in her if she's fully clothed. So I just think we kind of have to move past that. We should be able to let kids run around naked without feeling really uncomfortable, you know?
No.
Yeah, interesting.
Come on.
So that's an international attitude. That's an American attitude.
Yeah,
by
there
JR.
you go.